Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to tell you about a new skincare product I've been using for the past 100 days, and it comes from a company called Agency. I also come to you barefaced today so you get a real look at my skin, what it looks like. And this is where I tell you I'm 46. I'm super close to my 47th birthday. I have really specific skincare goals and things that I'm trying to work on. One of them, the huge forehead wrinkles I have going on. I also have a lot of crow's feet and lines right along the tops of my cheekbones and around my eyes. And then I'm trying to get rid of some hyperpigmentation. And I thought I would try Agency as a way to do that. If you're not familiar with Agency, they are a brand that offers you a dermatologist visit and prescription strength skincare straight to your home. I know this sounds right now like a sponsored video. It is not. I have been looking for something that would be affordable, that would help to address some serious skincare concerns that I have that have not been able to be taken care of by drugstore skincare stuff that I would find at the department store or stuff you can get at Sephora or Ulta or various other places. I wanted something that had that little extra oomph. You might have seen on my channel, and if you're curious, I will leave the links to both of those videos below. I did try another company in 2020. I tried the brand Muesli, and they are offering dermatologist grade skincare sent straight to your home. So it's prescription. You have to have a consultation with a provider, and then they formulate a specific formula just for you. I did not like it for various reasons. Did it work? Yes. Did I have some concerns? Yes. Were they ever properly addressed? No. So my concern with Muesli was that they were offering a very high percentage of hydroquinone, which is used to fade dark spots. They were offering 12%, and they sent it in my first tube, and then they continued to refill that tube every 2 months for 6 months. Now, it's bad for your skin to be on hydroquinone without taking a break. And I didn't know that at the time. When I found out, I stopped using it, but they would have continued to refill my prescription every 2 months until I needed to re-up with a yearly visit by uploading photos and paying the doctor fee to be able to see the doctor on their app. And then they would, rubber stamp me and send me off for another year. But more than a couple of months at a time of hydroquinone use is just not good for your skin. The other problem I had, I was trying to get my formulation adjusted and I could never talk to a real person. I got nothing but form letters back. I was trying to upload images to their app, which was clunky and it was not working. I must have tried 16 or 17 times to upload images and it just wasn't working. Not only was their technology clunky and awkward, they also didn't actually let me talk to a real person. I got 4 form letters trying to remind me that if I wanted to change my prescription, I needed to upload photos. I kept saying I'm trying to, it's not working. And then later I started asking questions about why is it that you're wanting me on this high dose for several months at a time, 6 months at a time? Shouldn't we be taking a break? And I just kept getting a form letter back that did not address any of my concerns. I'll tell you, my bad experience with Muesli last year really left me gun shy. It really left me feeling like there was no real good way to get affordable dermatologist visits with prescription strength actives unless I went into the office. Now, I do have a local dermatologist that I see, but every visit is $180. $180. So it's expensive. The last time I went to see her, she wrote a couple of prescriptions for me for tretinoin, for some acne medication, and those 2 prescriptions together, when I took them to get filled at the pharmacy, was more than $400 because my insurance was not going to cover it. It was not considered necessary medication. And I couldn't fill them. It was just too much. I was like, I can't spend $400 on this. I need to buy groceries. I need to pay more mortgage. I need to take care of my bills. After going to my dermatologist and after trying Muesli last year, I was just sure I wasn't going to be able to find anything other than over-the-counter products or skincare that you can buy at a local retailer. And I came across Agency. I had been doing some searching online. I wanted to see if I could find a company that would offer that dermatologist visit with active ingredients that you could only get in a prescription, but that would actually let you have that give and take back. That here's what's going on with my skin. Oh, really? Let's change your formula to do this. That's what I wanted. And I stumbled across Agency. What I didn't know at the time is Agency is a sister company to a brand that I know quite well, to Curology. In 2016, I started using Curology, and I thought they were a great company. They helped address some of the hormonal acne I was dealing with. I had a lot of acne on my chin. I still, you can tell I still do have some scarring here because it comes up every now and again, but it wasn't as bad as it was in my late 30s. And I feel like the difference that it made in my skin was huge. And what I loved the most about it was I did have a back and forth with a provider. And it wasn't a form letter, it was actually, oh, I see that you're having this problem. Let's switch and change your formulation to adjust for some of those things, which is exactly what I wanted. So when I found out Agency was kind of like a sister brand to Curology, I was like, I will try that. In May, when I contacted Agency and asked them to begin formulating a product that would suit my skincare goals and my concerns, they said, before we do that, let's make sure that your medical history is up to date. They were able to take all of my files from Curology, switch them over to Agency, and they were double checking, look, this is what we have for your medical history. Has anything changed? These are the medications you used to be on. Has anything changed? And I was able to update all of that. The one thing that's super interesting is that I've had 5 brain surgeries and I have a problem with intracranial hypertension, meaning that the pressure inside of my head, there's sometimes too much spinal fluid in there, and I've had 2 surgeries that will help with that. I have a device that's implanted in my brain. I keep touching it, it's right here. But it's a ventriculoperitoneal shunt, or a VP shunt. And it makes sure if there's ever too much spinal fluid in my head that it's able to click on, the pump turns on, and all of that excess spinal fluid gets diverted. There is a small tube that runs down the side of my neck here that's connected to the pump, and it comes down here, it goes between my breasts, snakes around in my abdomen, and ends on the lower right side. So when there's too much spinal fluid, it drains it. The reason I'm even mentioning this is because something really interesting happened. When they were going through, the provider was going through and they were updating my medical history, they said, I see you've had surgery for 2 VP shunts. Tell me more about that. What's going on? And I mentioned that I'd had surgery, I had some intracranial pressure problems, and that they had all been resolved by a shunt and everything was fine. I even sent them an image of like my shunt card. There's a card that I carry in my purse that has the device number on it, the name of the device, who my physician is, their physician's phone number, and the setting, because there's multiple settings you can have for this device. And I sent that to them and I said, this is what I know about it. And my provider responded saying, have you ever heard of pseudotumor cerebri? I was like, wait, what? And she says, look, the concern that I have is that people who already have intracranial pressure problems can sometimes have something called pseudotumor cerebri. And she says that's where your body continues to make more spinal fluid than you need, and there's no place for it to go, and it starts causing problems, and it's really serious. And she says, and the fact that you have a VP shunt and you already have intracranial pressure problems, have you ever heard of this? And I was like, actually, yeah. I was diagnosed as having pseudotumor cerebri in 2017 when I was in the hospital, which is why they put the VP shunt in the first place. And she was like, oh. She goes, well, because we know you have that, I cannot prescribe our future formula that includes tretinoin, because tretinoin actually has the potential, doesn't always, but has the potential to increase intracranial pressure. And I myself never would have thought that a cream that I put on my face would change my intracranial pressure. Those two would never have come together in a million years for me. But I love that my provider at agency so carefully went through my entire list of my medical history and was double checking everything. She asked this kind of, to me it seemed out of the blue question, but it was the perfect question to ask me. So I was very pleased. We settled on a formula that works for me. And my first bottle arrived in late May. I started using it in early June and it looks like this. This is the size bottle they send for your first month. It's half their normal dose, but they want to get you kind of going on a formulation, see how your skin reacts, and then make adjustments as necessary the month after. So if you're looking at my prescription right here, it's 3% azelaic acid, 1% dexpanthenol, 5% tranexamic acid, and 4% niacinamide. It says to apply to the face nightly, and this was the first bottle I received. I got through this by early July, and I had a refill. Before they refilled me, I got an updated emails asking what my skin was like, could I do a check-in before they sent me my next dose, and my next dose came in a much larger jar. So this is the 2-month size, and this is the one they start you with. The only difference in formulation between these two is that azelaic acid was 3% here, and here it's 5%. I have a new bottle where the azelaic acid is up to 7%. I recently sent an email asking that if in my next dose of medication they sent, they would also include their dark spot formula. And we emailed back and forth several times. She asked some very specific questions. She asked about if I was using any hydroquinone over the counter. She asked if I was using any skincare that might have any sort of steroid in, because they want to include a steroid, but if you're already using one, they can't include it in there. She was so careful to make sure that what she was sending me was going to be perfectly tailored to me. It really, really made me happy. So later this month, my dark spot formula should arrive, and here is what the prescription, I already have her email here, and it says that it's going to have 8% hydroquinone, 4% kojic acid, 3% azelaic acid, and 2.5% hydrocortisone, which is going to help minimize any potential irritation. She says, I've also prescribed the following formulas to cycle through every few months. The second dark spot formula does not contain hydroquinone. This is what I wish Muesli would have done, which was let's start you with this, let's take you off, give your skin a break, and then go back. But I love that agency knows that. Oh, I loved it. She says the second dark spot formula will include 10% azelaic acid, 4% kojic acid, 1% resveratrol, and 2% of an ingredient that I cannot pronounce, but I will put across the bottom of the screen for you, which is a moisturizing antioxidant that also helps to fight pigmentation. And then the third dark spot formula goes back to the original formulation. Instead of having the hydrocortisone, it'll have the resveratrol at 1%. So I really feel like that's fantastic. The last thing she put in here is, please know that your skin needs a break from hydroquinone every few months. The best way to do that is by cycling hydroquinone on and off. We'll change these formulas for you and we'll tell you about each change. This is the sort of high touch, specific care I was expecting from Muesli and didn't receive. This is the sort of careful formulation just for me that I wanted at an affordable price. I want to use products that are going to, with active ingredients, address some of the concerns that I have, like the wrinkles and the fine lines that I have, the hyperpigmentation spots, and give me an overall look of, you know, kind of plump and youthful skin. I know I'm pushing 50. I'm okay with that. I just want to be as careful as I can with my skin. And they also recommend that you should use SPF at least 30 every single day. And I love that they also say that you need to put this hand in hand with an SPF product. I feel like this future formula, if you are somebody who can use tretinoin, I feel like this is really going to do amazing things for your skin. I feel like the consultation and the back and forth you can have with your provider really, really helps to make sure you're getting exactly what you need. If I could use a tretinoin, I'm sure I would have had a significant and more dramatic result. I would have fewer lines in my forehead. I would have fewer lines around here. I'm sure that some of my hyperpigmentation would have been lightened before asking for their dark spot formula. I feel like some of those things would have been addressed a little bit more. But I am so grateful that they knew by looking at my medical history that they couldn't safely prescribe it to me. Now, does not mean that your girl is not going to talk to her neurosurgeon and her neurologist and go, do you think it'd be okay since, I have a VP shunt that I could probably use tretinoin? I'm still going to ask my doctors and see if I can. I'm impressed that a company that sees patients virtually and creates specifically compounded potions for your face was catching this small detail. It's huge to me, and it gave me such a huge sense of confidence in what they're offering to me. I am really excited to see. I will do another update video once I've used the dark spot formula for several months. I definitely want to see a decrease in pigmentation. I'm curious to see if they continue to adjust the future formula more and more and more for me with the ingredients they have here and potential other ones. Will it actually have a meaningful impact on the wrinkles that I have places around my face? Will it improve the vibrancy of my skin? Will I have a softer, smoother skin? I feel like my skin is in a pretty good place for being 46 years old, but we always want to look our best. And I think that right now, me using agency gives me that potential to reach that level of skincare that I couldn't get at the drugstore, at the department store, at Sephora, at Ulta. It gives me the chance to try things that only a doctor can prescribe to me in an amount I can afford every month. More than anything, I'm super impressed with the providers at agency and the way the brand itself is making sure to super serve their patients, to make sure they know exactly who you are, what your needs are, and what is best for you. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions at all, if there's anything that you think that I missed that you want to know more about. I am more than happy to answer those questions for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.